Qualcomm is cooking something really interesting for their next big chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6. And honestly, this one caught my attention because it's not about raw speed. It's about being smart with power, and that might actually matter more to you than a faster chip ever could. Let's get into it. So there's this tipster, Fixed Focus Digital, and they dropped a detail about the Gen 6 that nobody was really expecting. Qualcomm might add something called an LPE core to this chip. LPE stands for Low Power Efficiency. And before your eyes glaze over, just hang with me for a second, because this is actually really cool once you understand what it does. Think about what your phone is doing right now, even when you're not touching it. It's checking your notifications, it's tracking your steps, it's listening for your always-on display to wake up. It's doing all these tiny little background jobs constantly. And right now, your main CPU has to wake up every single time one of those little tasks comes in, even if it's something tiny, even if it's something that takes half a second. That's like hiring a construction crew to change a light bulb. Total overkill, and it drains your battery every single time. That's exactly where the LPE core comes in. This little guy is basically a super tiny, ultra-efficient helper that sits in the background and handles all those small, boring tasks, so your main CPU doesn't have to. Notifications? LPE core's got it. Sensor data? LPE core. Always-on features? Yep, LPE core handles it. And because your big, powerful cores don't need to wake up for that stuff anymore, they can just sleep. And sleeping cores use almost no power, which means your battery lasts longer, which means you're not scrambling for a charger at 4 p.m. This is honestly one of those changes that you'll feel in real life, even if you never hear about it on a spec sheet. Now, here's where it gets even interesting, because this LPE core isn't the only efficiency trick Qualcomm has planned for the Gen 6. The current chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, uses what's called a 2+6 layout. That means 2 high-performance cores and 6 performance cores all running together at the same speed tier. It works, but it's a bit blunt. All 6 of those middle cores are basically treated the same way regardless of what the phone is actually doing. For the Gen 6, Qualcomm is reportedly changing that to a 2+3+3 setup. So instead of one big group of 6, you'd have 2 separate groups of 3. And why does that matter? Because each group can now run at different speeds depending on what you need. Light task? Wake up just one cluster. Heavy task? Bring both clusters in. It gives the chip way more flexibility to dial in exactly the right amount of power. Not too much, not too little. So when you stack all of this together, the LPE core handling tiny background tasks, plus the smarter 2+3+3 CPU layout, you start to see the full picture of what Qualcomm is going for here. They're not just trying to make the Gen 6 faster, they're trying to make it smarter, more efficient at every level, from the biggest workloads all the way down to the smallest background processes. And look, none of this is confirmed yet. These are still leaks and tips. Clock speeds, we don't know those yet. Exact performance, too early to say. But the direction is pretty clear. Qualcomm is putting a lot of thought into how this chip uses power, not just how fast it can go. And honestly, that's the right move, because we've kind of hit a wall with raw speed. Chips are already fast enough for basically everything most people do. What people actually want now is a phone that lasts all day, a phone that doesn't get hot in your pocket, a phone that's fast when you need it and invisible when you don't. If Qualcomm pulls this off, the Gen 6 could be one of those chips that doesn't make headlines for benchmarks, but makes your daily life genuinely better. And those are actually the best kind. I'll keep watching this one closely and bring you more as it comes out. If you found this useful, you know what to do. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.